ReZero, the big reset theory. Now, I'm not going to use the Alcor slash Subaru from Lost in Memories VTuber for this one because I think this one's a little more important. Anyway, back to the topic. This is spoilers for Arc 9 stuff. So, that's your only spoiler warning in this matter. So let us talk about what exactly is this. I know at this point you probably have heard of it, and it's more in regards to Subaru got captured back in Phase 1. So he basically has been comatose throughout the entire arc because, he's gotten a break. Him and Beatrice are together sleeping because of Aldebaran, who is the main antagonist of this arc. Now, the Great Reset theory, it's supposedly that once Subaru is freed, he'll somehow die and return by death all the way back to the events of Phase 1. And we're currently in Phase 5. So imagine that, a big factory reset, if I were to basically make that point. Now, so far, it's been a bit of a infighting about whether or not we want that or not. And I have gotten some comments about it. I've talked to a few friends and companions about the Great Reset theory, and this is my take on the matter. I don't think, look, any idea can be done well, and if the execution is good, then you know what? That it's peak. But my personal gripe with this is the fact that for this entire arc, Subaru has not really played a big role here. Like, yes, we have Ghost Subaru that's been following Petra, but that's not really the main Subaru. And something to compare would be Arc 6, whenever we're following Amnesia Subaru. Yes, this isn't the Subaru we're been following because this is just a reset to Arc 1 Subaru. And yet, he is still, actively moving with the story, helping with a specific aspect of Natsuki Subaru. And then we have the legendary Natsuki Subaru chapter that, it all goes with this new Natsuki Subaru speaking with the Natsuki Subaru we had been following before Louis did her thing. And this culminated into, a much better Subaru, because now you have a combination of the two. And obviously you still have the issues later on, but that is still main Subaru doing things. So far, Subaru has not really done things in the normal terms, because he's been doing it through Petra, but you can really only do so much there. And once someone does die, that's a permanent death, unless, the Great Reset theory happens. And a lot of stuff has happened for the sake to stop Aldebaran from getting rid of Natsuki Subaru. And everyone is doing their part to essentially help out a friend that's captured. And I think the lesson of Arc 9, in my opinion, of course, is for Natsuki Subaru to really rely on his allies, to understand that he's not 100% needed as much. Yeah, he's needed when they're gonna die and stuff. Well, for sure gonna die. But right here, it's a scenario where it's not necessarily death. You do have the whole Otto losing his memories, Wilhelm unfortunately being, in a critical state. You have, positively, Rem is back. But the Great Reset theory obviously undoes a lot of things. It would obviously mean that Roy wouldn't know that the melancholy witch factor is with the Emilia camp, as well as the fact that Felt could be that royal family member that went missing, as well as the fact that Heinkel wouldn't believe in that because this was only due to the fact that they managed to trick him and Al that Roy ate the real name of Felt. You have a lot of important things, all the characters showing their own hard work kind of undone. And I think I'll say how one of my friends had put it. It'd be one thing if, say, you had to reset a video game from scratch because you did something and now you got to redo it. It's one thing when one does it, and then another thing when someone else just does it, completely resets your entire thing. It's that's way more annoying. That's something similar in this case, where Subaru would be one thing if the circumstances forced Subaru to have to reset, which is the only way I can see it plausible without it being quite annoying to go all the way back to Phase 1 events. But I don't personally like it. I think, Petra has a death flag. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Reinhardt is still holding off Satella. I genuinely think that if Petra dies, that Satella, goes away. And considering the fact that she is now the Witch of Melancholy, it basically means that she is probably marked for death at this point. And not to mention that it helps get back Capella into the main story, because we haven't seen her since the events of Arc 5. So she's been doing her own things, but having her learn that the Emilia can't hold the one witch factor she's been looking for, that's a setup if I see anything else. As well as other things, like showing that Aldebaran is one to not rely on anybody and have to force those to help him out, because his team is comprised of traitors and schemers, and that is not exactly a good thing. While everyone against them are people who genuinely have connections, who care about each other. So having all of that undone, it's like, what was the lesson of this arc? Like, each arc has their own lessons. That's why I kind of feel odd if, for some reason, you just reset. All because, I don't know, we don't want Petra gone, Otto doesn't get his memories back. Like, the consequences aren't there. And I like to bring back the phase in Arc 7, the Gladiator arc. So much stuff Subaru did. And yeah, his return by death was malfunctioning. But the arc ending in a way where it's like he manages to get Satella to find him and, fix the return by death checkpoints. And it's all the way back to the beginning of the damn phase. Like, that's kind of annoying. And it annoyed a lot of people, because a lot of the chapters felt so meaningful if those characters were perma-dead. And then, they're back alive. So it's kind of a bit jarring, if you ask me. And I get it. Subaru's whole point is to reset, like, fix the bad fates of his friends and all. But that's when he's actively doing stuff. This one, he hasn't even actively done much. So it's a bit baffling if he does do that and undo all of the greatness we've seen in Arc 9. All of the crazy things we've seen. So that is my take on the Great Reset theory. It can work. I can see it work. It's just, I think after everything that's happened and all of the things that they've all gone through, all of the characters, I feel like it'd be a disservice if we just reset everything to 0 on that. And back to just Natsuki Subaru has to defeat Aldebaran before he does his thing and completely causes such chaos. But you know what? That's my take on the matter. I thought I'd discuss it because it was something on my mind. And this is right after the chapter with the battle against Roy and how he might have died there. Though until I can see a for sure confirmation, I am gonna hold a little hope that he survives. Because my hope with him is that Julius is the one to defeat him. But that's just me. Anyway, this is Green Words and I'm one signing out. Peace.